Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing a video that you guys have requested for a long time now, and it's been a long time since I did this video last. I'm going to be talking about my updated favorite Morphe brushes. I am an affiliate with Morphe, you guys all know this. If you go way back in like my first videos, I was using Morphe before I even had any subscribers. I love Morphe products. Obviously there's some hits and misses with every brand, but I find myself using their brushes more so than any other brand. I always link my brushes down below, so you might have an idea of some of my favorites, but they have released some new collections, actually a lot of new collections since I last did this video. It's been over 6 months, I want to say almost a year. So I get a lot of snaps asking me about my favorite brushes and a lot of questions about doing an updated brush favorites video, so that's what I'm going to do today. I do have a coupon code with Morphe, which is Babsbeauty, and it is an affiliate code. So if you choose to use it, I love you guys, I appreciate it. I love getting snaps from you guys, or when you guys tag me on Instagram, showing me all the goodies that you got. It just makes me feel good that you guys love the products that I love. So without further ado, let's get into my favorite brushes. I'm going to go kind of each category and I'll show you close-ups of the brushes and everything so you can get a look at them, and I'll tell you what I use them for. So if you want to know my favorite brushes, then please keep watching. I'm going to start out with foundation, which is obviously the first step to makeup, or for me at least it is. I have 3 brushes that I wanted to mention, and they all kind of serve a different purpose. So the first brush that I have been loving most recently, I've been loving it a lot actually. This is the Morphe Y8. So this is from their gold collection. They have a gunmetal collection, but they did kind of the same concept with gold ferrules. So this is the Y8, and I saw Jaclyn Hill talked about how Lipstick Nick, which is, she's an amazing makeup artist, she used a brush like this to really buff foundation into the skin, and it just gave such an airbrush look. So I tried it out because I had the same brushes, and this brush is so good for foundation. I recommend it for like more of a high coverage foundation. If you have a really thick foundation, you could use this and really kind of buff it out. I love this brush so much. This is my go-to brush as of lately. So I know it doesn't look like a traditional kabuki brush, and I think a lot of times we get sucked into we can only use a kabuki brush, and that's not really true. I think a lot of makeup artists, pro makeup artists, I'm not a makeup artist, I admit that, but a pro makeup artist use tools that you would not really think about using. So this is definitely my first favorite, the Morphe Y8. This next brush is more of a traditional foundation brush. This is again from the gold collection, the Morphe Y7. So this one is more of a kabuki, but it's a rounded kabuki, so I don't find that it's too dense. I know that I had previously used some Sigma, like way back when, the Sigma flat top kabukis, and I felt like they were so dense, they were actually just moving the product from side to side instead of actually buffing into the skin. So this is one that I actually keep in my purse for touch-ups too. I could use this for powder as well, but this is a good brush if you want full coverage. If you want to get a little bit more coverage out of your foundation, this is a great one to try. So again, this is the Morphe Y7. And the last foundation brush I wanted to mention is from the Gunmetal collection. Can you tell I love like the Gunmetal kind of collection? I really, really love that collection. This is the G36. Very similar to the one I just mentioned. A little bit more dense, I would say, and the hairs are a little bit more tightly packed, so you might get a little bit more coverage out of this one. But I use this a lot. Again, this is another one I will carry in my purse, and I will use for touch-ups of powder. Just swirl it around to get rid of oil and to really mattify my face. So I think you really can't go wrong with any of the 3 brushes that I mentioned, but this was one that I use for powder or foundation as well. So again, this is the G36. So I'm going to go into contouring brushes since I'm kind of thinking about the face, and then we'll move into the eyes. The first one will give you a good contour. It's not going to be an extreme sharp contour. It'll be more of a blended contour. This is the M104. Also could be used for blush. I use it for a lot of things. This is one that is a staple, and I really believe this is like $5 if I remember right. It's like $5 to $7. Very, very affordable. I believe this is from the Flawless collection, so an older collection, but I also love a lot of brushes from there. And I just feel like this is the right slanted tip. You can just really contour your cheeks up. We all know that I like an extreme contour, but I understand that not everyone does. So I think this would work for anyone that just wants a little bit of shaping and to contour up the face. So definitely check out the M104. If you want an extreme contour, and I'm talking you would start out doing an extreme contour and then buff it out with another brush, this is the Morphe E46. Very, very compact. You could also use this to contour your nose, which I do as well. So it's kind of multifunctional. You can also use it to highlight down the sides of your nose to really slim your nose. So there's a lot of ways that I use this one. But if I want an extreme contour, like a really, really intense sharp line, then I'll do this, and then I will kind of buff up or use another brush to buff it out. This is the E46 from the Elite line. So again, you could also use this to contour your nose. There's a lot of ways that I use this one, but if you like intense contouring, I think you would really get a lot of use out of this one. And the one brush I wanted to mention for contouring, which is more of a, it would be like a more natural blown out contour, is the Morphe M530. This one could also be used for bronzing or blush. I've used it for blush a lot, but this is really kind of, it's still tapered enough that you can use it to contour, but it's not going to give you a sharp line. It's going to be more of a kind of bronzed look on your skin. I think a lot of people like that though, and I understand that not everyone is like me, and you know, some people have like long, thin faces. I don't have that. So I need something that's really going to give me that. So I use this more for blush, but it is also a great one for contour. So again, the M530, and I believe this one is like $7 as well. Moving on to blush, this is one that I found myself using a lot. You can also use it for bronzer. This is the Morphe Y2. I really, really love this line. This is just the perfect, it's like tapered enough, but it's still, or it's, I guess, packed tightly enough that it's going to concentrate. It's not going to be too big and give you blush all over your face, but it's soft enough and it has enough give that it's just like going to be right on the apples of your cheeks. I really, really love this, and I also love this for bronzing. I've been trying to use smaller brushes for bronzing. I think it just has more control, and you can really just kind of sun kiss your face. That's what I want to say. You can sun kiss your face if you're using a smaller brush. So if you are looking for a blush or bronzing brush, the Y2 is a favorite of mine. Another favorite is a really inexpensive one. This is from the Flawless collection, the M106. This one is more of a rounded shape, so it's like more of a, not concentrated. It would be more of like a, you know, just like smile and put it on the apples of your cheeks kind of brush. This one is super affordable, and I have used this to death, and it is still hanging tight with me. I love this one. Again, you can use it for bronzer. You can kind of use any of these for a multitude of things, but this is one that I keep, you know, in my collection, and it has lasted for, I want to say a long, I mean, it's been over a year, and I've been rocking with this one. So definitely recommend this one for blush or bronzing. The last one that I wanted to mention for blush is actually from a collection. It's the GUNMETAL $6.99 collection, and I know a lot of people ask me about the sets, the kits where there's like multiple brushes in a kit, and the only ones I can attest to are, there's three. There's like the white with the gold, that one's good, the gunmetal one, and then the bling set. So I don't know about any of the other sets. I know they do offer a multitude of sets, but I can only attest to those three. But I find myself using the most, I use the gunmetal set. It's the GUNMETAL $6.99. I think it's like $50 and you get 7 brushes. So it's really affordable. That's before you use a code. But this is a good slanted brush. Again, you could use it for contour, but I end up using it for blush a lot. And it's just like perfect to go right on the cheeks and give you a flush. So I will link down below the 3 sets that I use the most. That way, if you want to get a set, I can kind of break it down for you. The other ones I can't attest to, so I don't want to recommend anything I haven't tried. So definitely check out the GUNMETAL set from Morphe, the $6.99 set. I love that one. Moving on to highlighting, I have 2 brushes that are my holy grail highlighting brushes. The first one is the Morphe M501. I've used this religiously. I have 3 of these, and this is a more intense highlight. I usually spray it with Fix Plus, and then I really get in there. This is going to give you an intense highlight, which is going to give you the most out of your highlighters, which I love. We all know I'm not a natural girl. So if you're looking for something that's going to give you like crazy highlight, definitely try this one out. If you're looking for a more concentrated highlight, which I find myself reaching for a lot lately, this is the fan brush that I love from Morphe. This is the M601. Very affordable again, and I use it just like this, and it just keeps it right on the cheekbone. It's just more of a concentrated brush. I think a lot of people would really like that, so it's like not as intense, and you can really build it up. I usually just spray mine again with water or Fix Plus, and I just put it right on my cheekbones. So this is probably my favorite as of lately, the M601. When I think about crease brushes, there's quite a few. Actually, I think there's like 10 that I really reach for the most. I'm going to kind of go through quickly and tell you about them, but basically these are the brushes that I use to do my eyeshadow. So using to blend in the crease, a couple of them are a little bit smaller than others, but these are good starter brushes. If you're a makeup starter or you just need more blending brushes, you just want some brushes that are just going to blend out your eyeshadow on the top of your eye in the crease, these will all work for you. So I'm just going to go through quickly and show you each one so that you can make a decision. But honestly, you can't go wrong with any of these. Like I said, I really couldn't choose because these are all like 10 that I keep in my top drawer. The first brush is the M504. Obviously I have two. I thought it was two different brushes, but it's the same one. I use this to death. I think I have like 5 in my collection. So this is probably my #1 favorite if you're looking for a blending brush, the M504. My second favorite would be the M511. This one is very similar, but it comes to a point. I've used it a lot, so I've kind of worked out the kind of tapered point, but I use this a lot. I feel like this is really good to deepen up the crease. If you still want to get a blending going, but you want to use a darker color and really deepen up like the socket of your crease, this is the one I use. So this is the M511. Another big fluffy brush is the M532. I like this brush a lot. It reminds me of a Sigma brush. I think it's like is it the F35 or something, but it's just more affordable. And it's just really nice, again, to start transitions, to build up colors. I find myself reaching for it a lot, so the M532. Another one I use a lot is the M535. It's a little bit smaller than the M504, but not by much, and it's just a nice one, again, to really start adding color on the outer corner or the just blending in the crease. I know I'm repeating myself, but there's just so many different brushes that I use. It's kind of hard to narrow it down. Any of these will really work. It just depends on which one you want to go for. Another brush that I use a lot is the Morphe M573. This one's a little bit thinner and it comes to a point. So again, it's kind of like the M511 to really get into the crease because it has that tapered point. It really just kind of concentrates. You can also use this on the lower lash line to really blow out shadows. So this is the M573. And the last brush that I use in the crease, I have a few of these. This is from the Gunmetal collection. This is the G17. It's really nice and fluffy, and it just really works really well in the crease. I've used this one for a long time. I have multiples of it, and I just find myself going through them a lot. So definitely good for the crease area, and you can also add some deeper colors on the outer corner and still be able to blend them in. So as far as packing colors on the lid, I have a favorite that like is better than any of the other ones. It's my absolute favorite. And this is the Morphe G14 from the Gunmetal collection. These synthetic hairs are just so nice. I spritz this with any water or Fix Plus, and I just have so much control to pack it on the lid and also be able to blend out any harsh edges. This is hands down my favorite brush for the lid, any kind of glitter, pigment, or shimmery shade. So definitely check out the G14. My other favorite is actually so cheap. I think it's like $3. This is the M151. I have multiples of these, but I like that it's really soft and flexible, so I have control, and it seems like pigments really stick to this. When I spray it with any Fix Plus, it really gets saturated with the pigment, and I can then work it on my lid. So super cheap, really great to have if you want some brushes that can really put some pigments on your lid. So again, this is the Morphe M151. And then lastly, for the lower lash line, I have 4 brushes I want to talk about. These are like pencil brushes, really going to concentrate on the lower lash line. So I'm going to start from the biggest to the smallest. The first one I think a lot of people will get a lot of use out of is the R41. It's a typical pencil brush, rounded, short, and it really just allows you to sweep and blow out, smoke out lower lash line colors. You could also use this on the outer corner of the eye to really pack on the top of the lid, but I think a lot of people use this because it's quick and easy. You just kind of go like this and you're going to have smoked out color on the bottom lash line. So the R41. If you want to go in with some deeper colors and really start deepening the lower crease, I would go in with the E36. This is from the Elite collection, and this is similar to the last one but just smaller, more precise. So I use this a lot with darker colors. I'll really kind of focus it on the lash line, and then I'll use that other brush to really kind of blend it out if I have any harsh edges. I think a lot of people love this. This seems to be in and out of stock a lot. Then I have multiples of this one too. This is the E36. An even more targeted brush is the M149. This is almost like a point, and you can also use this for your inner corner highlight. Same with the other two. I use pencil brushes typically for my inner corner highlight, but this is really kind of pointy, and this is going to be right up on the lower lash line, almost as if you were kind of making liner with shadow, if that makes sense. And this one's super cheap, so the M149 I use a lot for like blacks or really deep browns. And the last brush, which is the smallest, most precise brush that I own, I have 3 of these. This is the M515. This is very small. It's a pointed, it's almost like a liner brush, and I use this really for dark shades like blacks a lot. So I find myself using this a lot. This is why I bought a few of them. I just feel like sometimes when I have a bigger brush, I'm trying to put darker shades on my lower lash line, it's not catching, it's not giving me the intense color I want, and this helps a lot. So the M515. Alright guys, so that is it for me and my Morphe favorite brushes. Hopefully it helped you out if you're a beginner or you're trying to build your kit, or you're just on the lookout for some affordable brushes that work. I just find myself using Morphe the most, so I am happy to be affiliated with them, and I just love their products. I will leave my coupon code on the screen as well as down below. It'll save you 10%, and I will link all the brushes down below in case you're interested. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.